The alarm on Lieutenant Commander Eva Rostova's console wasn't a sound. It was a scream, a digital shriek that tore through the sterile quiet of Orbital Command's intelligence hub. It was the sound of 487 lives simultaneously tipping into the abyss. The data stream on her hollow screen was a brutal, unemotional obituary in the making. A marine transport, the UNSC Resolute, had suffered a catastrophic drive failure during a routine slipspace jump near the volatile, uncharted nebula known as the Charybdis Veil. It had been spat out prematurely, its hull compromised, its life support failing, and was now caught in the gravitational fist of a collapsing brown dwarf. ETA to crush depth, 3 hours. But the real horror, the part that turned Eva's blood to ice, was the automated response already flashing in crimson letters across her screen. Protocol 12 Alpha initiated. Abort all rescue operations. Condition unsalvageable. It was a death sentence, signed not by a person, but by a line of code, a cold calculus that deemed the risk to any rescue vessel too great, the loss of the Resolute and its souls a necessary, if tragic, statistic in the ledger of deep space exploration. Eva's hands, usually steady enough to perform micro-calibrations on quantum and tangled comms arrays, trembled. 487 Marines, not numbers, people. They had names, families, faces she would never see but could vividly imagine, their hope curdling into terror as the ship groaned around them. She looked across the hub, at the other officers, their faces illuminated by the soft glow of their own stations, a picture of calm efficiency. Did they not see it? Did they not feel the silent scream transmitted across the void? Her direct superior, Commander Valerius, a man whose soul seemed to have been pressed and starched along with his uniform, was already moving toward her, his expression a mask of grim finality. A tragedy, Rostova, a damn tragedy, but the protocol is clear. We don't risk a second asset in a gravitational maelstrom. The math doesn't lie. The math. She hated the math. It was the same math that had declared her father, Captain Alexei Rostov, and his ship, the Odyssey, unsalvageable and presumed lost with all hands a decade ago in the same damned nebula. No body, no wreckage, just a void and a closed file. Her mother had accepted the math. Eva never had. And now that same bureaucratic indifference was about to claim 487 more. Sir, the Resolute's distress signal is still strong. Their life support, while failing, has a buffer. The Vanguard is only 6 hours out at flank speed. We could... Valerius cut her off, his voice low and sharp. The Vanguard would be entering a navigational nightmare. The veil is littered with gravitational anomalies and quantum interference. One wrong move and we'd have 2 ships lost. The decision is made, Lieutenant Commander. Stand down. Acknowledge the order. His eyes held no room for appeal. They were the eyes of the machine, of the protocol. To him, she was just another component in the system, one that was malfunctioning. Acknowledge, Rostova. The word stuck in her throat, a bitter pill. Acknowledged, sir, she whispered, the lie tasting like ash. As Valerius walked away, Eva's mind, usually an orderly place of data streams and logical pathways, became a storm of rebellion. She couldn't stand down. She wouldn't. Every rule, every regulation, every ounce of her training screamed at her to obey, but a louder, more primal voice, one that carried the ghost of her father's laugh and the memory of her mother's grief, told her to fight. She would break every rule to save them. Her plan was insane, a house of cards built on a foundation of stolen access codes and sheer, desperate audacity. She waited for the shift change, the brief period of chaos as one team logged off and another came on. Using an encryption algorithm she'd built in her spare time, a direct violation of command security protocols, she hacked into the primary comms relay. Her fingers flew across the interface, creating a ghost log, a false trail that would show her station was powered down for diagnostics. Then she composed a message. It wasn't sent through official channels. It was a tight beam, laser-encrypted burst directed at one ship and one ship only, the Vanguard, commanded by a grizzled old-school captain named Miles Croft, a man who owed her father his life a dozen times over. The message was simple. A data packet containing the Resolute's true, undoctored coordinates, its vital signs, and a single line of text. Alexei's daughter requests immediate assistance. Protocol 12 Alpha is in effect. They are not unsalvageable. She prayed Croft's loyalty to an old friend outweighed his fear of a court-martial. The next step was the cover-up. She initiated a complex loop in the sensor grid, feeding pre-recorded data of the Resolute signal degrading into static, simulating its final death throes. To anyone watching, it would appear the ship had finally been crushed, the problem solving itself. It was a monstrous thing to do, to fake the death of 487 people, but it was the only way to buy time, to make command believe any further action was pointless. Her heart hammered against her ribs like a trapped bird. Every second felt like an hour, every footstep in the corridor a potential discovery. Then, her private, secure channel chirped. It was a one-word response from the Vanguard. En route. Relief so profound it made her dizzy washed over her, followed immediately by a fresh wave of terror. The hard part was just beginning. For the next 4 hours, Eva lived in a special kind of hell. She maintained her facade of professional sorrow, all while secretly monitoring the Vanguard's progress and the Resolute's fading life signs through a back door she'd carved into the deep space tracking network. Valerius placed a hand on her shoulder at one point. "It's a hard day, Eva. The first mass casualty is always the hardest. You did your job." The kindness in his voice was worse than any reprimand. She was deceiving the one person who showed a flicker of humanity. Then, the first twist of the knife came. A priority alert flashed on Valerius's terminal. He scanned it, his brow furrowing. "Rostova, you're the signal analysis expert. Take a look at this. Long-range scanners on the rim just picked up an anomalous energy signature from the Charybdis Veil. It's faint, buried in the interference, but it's structured. It's not natural." Her blood ran cold. She pulled up the data, her professional curiosity battling with a rising dread. The signature was unlike anything she'd seen before. It was a complex, repeating pattern, a signal that was both familiar and utterly alien. And its point of origin was not the Resolute's last known position. It was emanating from deep within the veil, from the exact last known coordinates of her father's ship, the Odyssey. The world tilted. It couldn't be. It was a ghost, a cosmic coincidence, a sensor echo. But as she ran the patterns through the decryption suites, her breath caught in her throat. The signal's core carrier wave was